Hello everybody, my name is Marlo, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to build this medieval styled blacksmith workshop inside of Minecraft. This build is perfect if you're making a custom village and want to build a smithy shop of some kind, or perhaps you could use it to cover an underground super smelter built in your survival world. There is an outside work area with a forge. On the inside are some furnaces, a grindstone and other smithing essentials. To the side of the build we have an open window which can be used as a shop to sell items directly out of, and at last but certainly not least, upstairs we have a cozy little bedroom for the blacksmith to live in. So before we get started with the build, if you're making this in survival, you might want to check out the description down below for a full materials list on all of the items that we're going to be using today. So once you've found an area to build the workshop in, the first thing we're going to do is place down these 10 polished andesite blocks just as I have here. The concrete blocks are there to help you count the spaces in between, by the way. So just to give you an idea on the position of this build, over here where I'm currently stood is going to be the outside work area. Just over here to the left hand side is going to be the shop section. Over here on the smaller part jutting outwards is going to be the main entrance, and then over here is, well, just round the back of the build. So go ahead and place those 10 andesite blocks and then we can get started for real. So with the polished andesite blocks all placed down, we can now get started on building the walls, which are going to be made out of a combination of stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, andesite, and then stone. Those are going to be the 4 blocks we're going to be using, just to get a bit of texture. However, just to keep it simple, we're only going to be using stone bricks for now and adding in the other 3 later to get that textured look. So just to keep it simple, we're going to be sticking to stone bricks for now. Of course, you're welcome to mix these in as you go. It's kind of up to you. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our stone bricks, and on these 2 polished andesite blocks, we're just going to place 2 full blocks on top of them like that. On the other 8 andesite blocks we have remaining, we're going to do the same, except we're placing 3 blocks on top of them instead of 2. So you should have something like this at this point. Now what we're going to do is come round to the left hand side here, where we're going to have the shop section, and we're going to have 5 blocks across the top like that, and 2 upside down stairs in the corner. Now we're going to come round to the right hand side where we have the main entranceway, and on the front side here we're going to place down 2 upside down stairs with a slab in the middle for another archway shape right here. Then we can come round to the 2 sides here and also on this side, and we're going to have 2 stairs facing outwards next to those polished andesite blocks. 1 block above them, we're going to have 2 full blocks just like that, and then behind these blocks we're going to have 1, 2, 3 and 4 full blocks, just so it looks a little bit better from the outside, as you can see. Now coming round the back of the build, the first thing we're going to do is place another line of full blocks along the top row, and then starting over here on the left hand side, so where the side is nearest to the main entranceway, we're going to skip 2 blocks and have a line of 3 going upwards. Then we're going to have 2 stairs facing forwards, leave these 2 blocks open and place 2 full blocks above like that. Then we're going to have 3 more blocks here and another block here. So you should have a gap for a doorway, a gap for a window and another gap for a window. And now for the final side, the front side here, just where we have our workshop eventually. The first thing we're going to do is come to the right hand side here, so once again nearest to that main entranceway, and we're going to have an upside down stair and a regular stair just next to those blocks. And then from this top stair, we're going to have another line of 4 blocks going all the way across to the other side. Next to these stairs, we're going to have 3 more full blocks, and we're also going to have 3 more full blocks over here. So you should find you have 4 blocks left in between them, where we can have 2 slabs in the middle at the top and 2 upside down stairs, once again making another arch shape. Now what we're going to do is come up to this top section here, and on this block right here, so 1 block to the left of this upside down stair, we're going to have 2 full blocks, leave a gap here, have another 2 full blocks, a full block here, a full block here, and an upside down stair here. So this is what the front side looks like. So before we go around and add in those other 3 blocks to get our texture, we do just need to head inside quickly and place down a few more stone bricks. That way we can place down all of the stone and texture it at once and just get it over and done with. So we're going to step inside here and look to the left hand side of the build where we're going to have our shop section. And we're basically going to place 4 blocks in each of the corners just like that, with 5 blocks along the top like so. We can then turn to face the back of the build and come to this 6 block gap section right here where we're going to be having a doorway, and we're going to place 4 more blocks either side of that section. We're going to have 2 upside down stairs at the top, and just to the left here we're going to have 3 more. Then we can alternate between stone bricks, the full block, and stairs all the way like this until we get to the other side over here. And just like that, the interior and the exterior is all done, at least as far as the stone is concerned. So now you can go around and mix in some texture with those other 3 blocks, and the way that I personally like to do it is trying to keep the stone bricks as the most frequently used of the 4, as though the build was once made out of pure stone bricks when it was brand new, but over time it's withstood some wear and tear, and the other 3 blocks have kind of appeared. So the cracked stone bricks, the stone, as well as the andesite, it's not quite as frequently used as the stone bricks, if that makes sense. Basically, there's more stone bricks than any of the other 3. But of course, you're welcome to mix it in however you like. That's just my 2 cents on how I texture. So now you should have some lovely textured stone walls, so now we can get started on the roof, and more specifically the roof outline, which is going to be made out of deep slate tiles. And the first thing we need to do is place down 2 full blocks on the front of the build just like this. And in front of them we're going to have some deep slate tile stairs facing outwards. On the back of those we're going to have 2 upside down stairs just like that, with a slab on top of those upside down stairs. Then on these 2 stone blocks we're going to have an upside down stair just like that, and off the back of those we're going to have a regular stair. Then we can have another regular stair on top of the upside down ones, 2 more upside down ones, and as you may have guessed, 2 more stairs on top of those, with an upside down stair here in the middle. So that is the shape you need to be making. However, we do need to make a couple of changes. We need to get rid of this block, this stair right here on the left hand side. It basically just gets in the way of the roof of the outside work area. And we also need to place in a deep slate tile slab underneath that full block. Now we're going to come around to the back of the build and do a similar thing to begin with the 2 full blocks in the same spot, and the 2 stairs placed in front of it facing outwards, and 2 upside down stairs coming off the back of those. We can then grab some slabs, and we're going to go ahead and place 1 underneath both of the full blocks, and then a line going across here from one stair to the other, just like that. Super simple. We do need to grab some deep slate tile walls, and we're going to add one here just above this left hand side upside down stair. Leave a gap of 3 and place another. We're then going to have a stair on top of those, an upside down stair, another stair, and then 1 more upside down one in the middle. Now we can move around to the left hand side, and we're going to start off by having 2 stairs just in front of these solid blocks again, so it should look like this on the corners. And we're going to have an upside down stair off the back of them, and we pretty much just want to staircase our way up until these eventually meet in the middle. So we want to go up 1, 2, 3 blocks high on one side, and then we're going to do the same on the other, and you should find they eventually meet in the middle with 1 block in between them, and we can have an upside down stair. Super simple this time round. We do, however, super quickly, from this bottom upside down stair, just add 5 slabs across the middle like that. And round the final side here where we have our main entranceway, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. So starting with those stairs in front of the full blocks, and then we're going to staircase our way up and meet these 2 in the middle, as I said, just as we did for round the back of the build too. So 2 more stairs and 1 more in the center here, just like that. We do, however, need to add a smaller roof outline for this front section right here. So we're going to start with 2 upside down stairs, just like that, and then a regular stair coming off the back, and then an upside down one coming off the back of that stair with a slab right here. So slab, stair, stair, and then stair once again, and same round here. So upside down stair and a slab. As for the front, we're going to have 2 slabs on top of those upside down stairs, a full block here, a full block here, and then an upside down stair in the middle. Now we just need to connect these 4 on the roof at the very top. So on the left and the right hand side, what we're going to do is place a stair facing inwards on top of that middle stair, then an upside down one off the back of that one, and 2 slabs coming off that top stair. And underneath there we can have a chain and a lantern to get this little bit of an overhang, a finial if you will. And we're going to do the same for this side too. So 2 stairs, 2 slabs, a chain, and a lantern. Then what we can do is potentially pillar up if you're in survival here. We're going to have a slab, then a stair, then a slab, then a stair on both of the sides. So slab, stair, and then we're going to have 2 more slabs and a full block in the center here. So it should be 1, 2, 3 stairs on either side, 3 slabs, and then a full block. Then what we can do from this full block coming to the front side, very simply, we're just going to have a line of slabs until you reach on top of that upside down stair. And we're going to do a similar thing round the back, starting from this stair, adding slabs all the way until that stair right there. So now we're going to fill in our roof with our copper blocks, and here's where the video gets a little bit confusing because it's going to depend on the player with what you do next. So in an ideal world, you would use a combination of waxed cut copper, exposed cut copper, and then weathered cut copper. Those 3 right there are a perfect block combination for this roof design and the rest of the block palette, in my opinion. Now, that either A, may not be to your liking, or B, not possible if you don't have a honeycomb farm. So if you're in that position of the latter, where you don't have a bee farm to produce honeycomb, you're just going to have to use regular copper, and it's going to expose like that over time. Nowhere near as quickly as that, by the way. It's going to take a lot longer, but you're either going to be left with this one in the end and you can keep it as that and it looks fine, or you're going to have to keep scraping it to keep it nice and shiny like this. So if you don't have a bee farm, pick one of those options. I'd honestly recommend just leaving it and maybe scraping it every now and again. But if you do have a honeycomb farm, you can use these 3 blocks right here. Ignore the last one. I don't think it fits quite well with the other 3, in my opinion. So you can kind of mix these 3 in beforehand, wait till they expose, and then wax them when they get to this level. So just kind of judge it on how much honeycomb you have, what you want to do, and your general play style. But yeah, I personally, from the video here, I'm going to be using these 3 blocks. I'm going to mix those 2 in later. Just use this one for now, so you can see a little bit easier what blocks I'm placing. Hopefully all of that made sense. The first section of roof that we're going to fill in is this front section here by the main entranceway. I'm just going to step round to the back here, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 copper slabs. We're then going to have 3 full blocks off the back of those middle 3. Then we're going to have a slab here in the center and 2 full blocks of copper right there. We do also, I forgot about this earlier, very sorry, need to place 1 more stone block just next to it like that. So hopefully you got one on hand. Then we can come out the front here, and all we need to do is place a stair here and another one over on this side. Now coming to the front of the build on this section right here, we're going to start off by placing a slab next to this deep slate tile slab, and then we're going to have 2 stairs, and then we're going to have 2 more stairs, and pretty much all we're doing here is just connecting up 1 stair on this side to the stair on the other side. It's pretty simple, there's a good pattern to it. All you need to do is place down the stairs just like that, as I've done here. You can also go ahead and do the exact same thing, just flipped over to the other side here. Now coming around to the back of the build on this smaller section right here, the first thing we're going to do behind this wall is place down 2 full blocks. We're then going to have a stair here, 3 stairs along sideways, and then connecting to this stair over here, and just as we've done for the other sections, connecting 1 stair round to the other side, wrapping around the copper blocks like that. As for the largest side over here, once again we're going to start with 2 full blocks behind that wall, then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 slabs, and then we want to have ourselves 5 stairs just behind it. And I probably don't even need to explain what I'm doing anymore, but I will anyway. We're just going from 1 stair, placing in all of the copper stairs, wrapping around until the other stair here on this section of the roof. All that we need to do as far as copper placement is concerned is place some slabs in the ceiling here, kind of going along the deep slate tiles that you can see. So we do need to place in one solid block over here, the stone that I once again forgot, very sorry. And we're just going to place down some temporary blocks here, here, and here. And that's because we don't want to place down a copper slab on those spots, but we do want to place a copper slab down on all of the other ones. So basically just filling in as I've done there. Now you can go ahead and get rid of those 3 stone blocks that we placed down. Of course, leaving that one right there. So now, as you can see, it actually looks pretty good just leaving it as the regular cut copper. So if you want to do that and wax it in place, feel free to do so. Alternatively, you can mix in some blocks like I'm doing here with the exposed and the weathered. Or alternatively, again, as I said previously, just give it some time, it'll expose itself over time, and then you can wax it when you think it's in a good position to do so. But this way, mixing it in right now is just a little bit quicker for the sake of the video. Now we're going to build the outside work area where we have the forge. So the first thing we're going to do is place a deep slate tile wall right here, just beside this window. Then we're going to leave 3 blocks and place another on the 4th block. Then we're going to leave 6 blocks and place it on the 7th right here. Should be in line with this part of the building. And then the 4th one can go here in this corner. On top of all of those deep slate walls, we're going to have 2 spruce fences just like that. And before we place down the rim of trapdoors, we're actually going to build the main section of roof, which is going to be out of polished granite and regular granite. Just to make it simple so you guys can see what blocks I'm placing, we use polished granite to begin with. So mix the regular granite in as you go here, but we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 blocks along the back here. Then from this block right here, we're going to have 4, then another 4, and then another 6 on the final row. So it should look like this. And if you haven't done it already, just go ahead and mix some of the regular granite into the polished granite. Something like that is absolutely fine. Then we want to grab our spruce trapdoors, and starting from this stair right here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to need to crouch as you place them, otherwise it will just open it up. And we're also going to place one underneath this stair here, as well as underneath the trapdoors. That just makes the outline here a little bit thicker, as you can see. We're going to do the same around the front by placing them in front of all of those granite blocks, as well as on top of the spruce fence. And we're going to thicken the rim here by placing some more underneath. And lastly, we can do the exact same thing round to the right hand side here, not forgetting to place them underneath as well. So we should have something that looks like this, with this 2x2 hole open, which is where we're going to be building the forge and the chimney to it. We're going to build the top part of the forge first of all, which is made out of bricks. So we're going to have the 4 full blocks right there in line with the granite blocks. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls, then another 4, and then another 4, just like that. And now we need to place in 4 stairs upside down at the top part here, but not in any way. There's a specific way to do this. So we're going to place a temporary block right here with a stair beside it. So the stair should be facing upside down in towards this way. So we've got it placed down like this. We then want to place the next stair here, and looking at the front of the build, then we're going to move around 90 degrees facing the left hand side of the build, place in another one, and then place in the last one another 90 degrees round like that. So you can see they all curve round and connect nicely. You don't have anything like this, for example. So basically just place one, move around 90 degrees until you make something like this. Then on top of those stairs, we can place down 4 campfires and just cover those up with 2 trapdoors on either side, making a nice smoking top to the forge. Now we can build the bottom section of the forge where the actual forging is going to take place. So we're going to grab some full brick blocks and we're going to add 4 down just like that. We're then going to have 2 upside down stairs here at the front and 2 full blocks at the back, and just under those we're going to have 2 more stairs. Then either side of it, we're going to have 2 full blocks on the floor, a stair here and a stair here facing backwards, and then the opposite round the other side, so 2 more full stairs facing inwards towards us. What we can then do is place down 2 brick walls on these 2 spots with 2 flower pots on top. You're going to leave them open. It's basically just a cosmetic addition. Don't actually put a flower inside of it. And then what we can do is break these 4 blocks and replace them with some bricks. And what we can then do is break away these 2 blocks, as well as these 6 blocks in the floor, replace them all with brick blocks, add in 2 campfires, and lastly, 2 iron bars to cover up the flames. So the front looks like this, just doing a quick walk round to the side, and we should have the back looking like this. Not like that, like this, with that gap there in the back, just as a little bit of added detail. The next thing we're going to do is work on detailing the walls, because of course they're not going to be staying as they are right now. So we're going to start around the main entrance right here, and the first thing we're going to do is place in an iron bar right here, as well as one around the other side. Then we can come to this front section where we're going to be having the actual doorway, and we're going to place that down on this block right here, so just behind where we have those stairs. Then we can actually step inside, and next to that doorway we're going to have 3 spruce trapdoors and 1 just above it. That way we can flap them all closed, so from the outside it looks like this, which is a nice little trick to use with the trapdoors and the door combo. We can then have a deep slate tile wall here next to the 2 andesite blocks with a spruce fence on top of it. Then we can just come around to this section right here on this spot where we're going to have a piston with a lantern on top of it. This is meant to be some sort of crate. You could alternatively use a note block, but my note block looks like this. An actual crate, which is a little bit deceiving to use in my tutorials, so I try to avoid it. So use a piston, a note block, a beehive, whatever you want. You can just place that down right there. You could also use a barrel, but we're actually going to be placing some of these for this corner right here, so I thought the piston was a little bit different. So what we're going to do is just make a bit of a stack of barrels and chests. We're going to have a regular barrel here in the corner next to those 2 andesite blocks, one facing towards us, this one down here facing towards us this way. Then we're going to have 2 chests and another one over here. Just like that, a nice little barrel stack for some storage. We also want to have 2 iron bars here in this gap, and then at the top gap here we're going to have an oak trap door. We can then come around to this section right here with this open space, and it may actually be easier to do this from the inside. So what we're going to do is have a barrel here and here. Then we're going to have 2 barrels like that with a slab on the bottom and a slab on the top part of this barrel. So from the inside it should look like this, and from the outside it should look like this. Now coming around to the back, we're going to do a similar thing for this section up here. So maybe once again step inside, just place down 2 barrels either side of this gap with a spruce slab at the bottom and another one at the top. So from the outside it looks like this once again. So now we need to fill in all of these windows and doors. On the 2 block gaps we're going to have some iron bars, but on this one we're going to have a proper doorway. So at the top block here with these 2, we're going to have 2 upside down stairs with 2 spruce trapdoors flipped up against the wall just like that to make this archway. Where on the inside we're going to go ahead and have 2 trapdoors at the top there behind the stairs. And then on these 2 blocks right here, we're going to have 2 spruce doors, so we can access the blacksmith from the back here. We're going to go ahead and grab some spruce fence gates, and we're going to place 2 in front of the iron bars here and open them up with some spruce trapdoors on top. And then we're going to do a very similar thing around here for another shutter design, but on the other way. So we're going to have 2 spruce fence gates on these 2 spots, open them all up, and then on the front here, crouching as you do this, place down 2 spruce trapdoors. For the final side round here, where we're going to be having our shop, the first thing we need to do is copy what we have here with the barrels for this section right here. So 3 on this side, of course making sure they're all facing the same way, and you don't have something like this. You want the side texture on show. We're going to have a slab at the bottom, a slab at the top, and then we're also going to go ahead, whilst we're inside here, place a spruce plank right there, and then we're also going to do that for the other 2 sides, just like that. Now we can come back outside here, and we're going to go ahead and place down some stripped spruce logs next to these blocks right here. So we're going to have 3 of those on either side. And then at the top here, just on the top row, in line with the logs, we're going to have some spruce stairs upside down. And then we're going to have ourselves 1, 2, 3 droppers with some spruce trapdoors in front of them. And we're also going to stick a bell in the center right here. Now we are going to add some extra details like some items inside of item frames on sale, maybe some armor stands either side, but we're going to do all of that when we do the interior. Same with everything that's going to be going on the outside work area. We're just going to go ahead and count that as the inside of the building. So we're all done for the exterior. We can now head inside and get started on that. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and taken the floor down by a layer. We of course are not going to be having grass as the floor for this build. We also do need to get rid of these 3 blocks where we have our doorways. They're going to pop off, but we'll replace them later. It's okay. So I've made a bit of a cutoff point here just in front of the forge. We are going to be tiling this outside area, but it's a little bit different to what we're doing on the inside here. So just for now, make a cutoff point right here, take all of this down by a layer, and we're going to be making the floor out of a combination of cobbled deep slate, regular deep slate, and regular deep slate placed down sideways. So you can see the difference in those 2 blocks right there. And all you really want to do here, maybe go around with the cobbled deep slate first of all, place all of these just like I am, like that. There we go, that'll be fine. And then you want to go around placing the regular deep slate, not the sideways, just the regular facing upwards. Go ahead and mix in some of that, and then when you're done with this one, all of the spots that you have remaining, you can place in some of the sideways deep slate, kind of changing up the direction if you want to. You can just have some fun with it, mix it all in however you would like. Maybe you think I need a bit more cobbled here, or regular deep slate, just get some texture in the floor using those 3 textures. There we go. Very, very nice. Oh, and of course, go ahead and replace your doors back down. We definitely don't want to forget those. So the outside area here, as I said, is a little bit different. We could just build some sort of rectangle area here and fill it all in with deep slate and call it there, but that might be a bit too harsh on the eyes. Instead, we want to try and blend it with the grass a little bit to look as though, since this is an outside area, the dirt has kind of been dragged inside onto the deep slate. So what we're going to do is just kind of create a fade between the 2. And the first thing we need to do, since this is the bulk of the inside work area, we're going to take away these 12 blocks and just place in the deep slate as we did for the outside. And then we can fill all of that in just like that. And now is where we want to create that transition. So on the first layer round, we're just going to go ahead and break away some blocks. Now you can either do this exactly as I am or just roughly. And then we're going to do the same on the next layer outwards. Now this may be something you have to tweak, and you most likely will have to, because it's going to look a little bit weird potentially at first. But if you want to break those exact blocks, I'll just do a fly around and you can see what I've done. And obviously go ahead and place in the deep slate sporadically as you did before, mixing in all 3 of the textures just like that. And then you can take a step back and think, yeah, I'm happy with that, but I do want to get a bit more of a harder or lighter transition, I should say. So we're going to mix in some coarse dirt too. Not too much, just a little bit sporadically here and there, just to get that fade between the deep slate and the grass, and I think that should be fine. As I said, this may be something that you have to keep standing back and tweaking, but in my opinion, this looks a lot better than just having an exact rectangle bordering off where the work area is. The next thing we're going to build is the ceiling to the first floor and also the floor to the second floor. So we're just going to start off with some spruce slabs along this row right here, so just underneath that oak trapdoor, and then next to that we're going to have some spruce trapdoors, and you can probably see where I'm going with this because that is literally the pattern for the ceiling here. Slabs to trapdoors to slabs and trapdoors once again. So we got 2 rows of slabs, 2 rows of trapdoors. We need 1 more row of slabs, and then before we place the last row of trapdoors, we're actually going to place down 4 ladders just to the left of the doorway here, and this is how we're going to get up to the top level here, the bedroom. But now we can go ahead and place in 3 trapdoors here and 3 more here, of course leaving that top one open to actually access the bedroom. The last thing we need to do for this clip is place in a tile wall here, another one here, with 2 spruce fences on top of it. Now we're going to grab some more spruce trapdoors and come up to the top level here, and just to make the ceiling look a little bit nicer, it's very cramped I know, but we can improve it slightly by placing some spruce trapdoors underneath these copper blocks. Now what I'd recommend is just face one of the sides for now, and we want to place in the trapdoors all facing the same way. So as you can see, you just want to face the same direction and place in all of the trapdoors so we get this continuous texture and not something like this, as you can see. So just make sure you're placing them all facing the same way pretty much. So we want to do that for those two sides right there. Then we can turn around to the other side and do the exact same thing. So all those trapdoors along the bottom, as well as on the next row, not forgetting all of this side as well. And there we go. That's a slight improvement. As I said, yeah, it's quite cramped and cozy up here, but I think it's quite nice. We may as well go ahead and furnish this top level since we're already up here. So we're going to go ahead and next to this oak trapdoor, place in our bed. And then we're going to have an oak stair here, either side of it, and an oak trapdoor in front of it. Just to kind of surround the bed with some blocks, make it look a little bit better. On this block, we're going to have an item frame with anything inside, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick a clock. You could put in some sort of item of importance, it's entirely up to you. Have some fun with it. Then over here on the left hand side, we're going to make a tiny table and chair. So we're going to have an oak fence here just behind the slab, an oak pressure plate on top of it, then an oak slab right here with an oak trapdoor on the back. And there we go. That's about as small as a tableless chair as you can possibly make. Over on this side, just to the right of the bed, we're going to have a little bit of storage with two double chests just like that. And then over here where we have our ladder, we're going to have a crafting table. And then on the floor here, just a nice little flower inside of a flower pot. Coming back down to this level, we now can work on the shop section. So the first thing we're going to do is place a barrel to the left here with a chest on top of it and one more over here to the right. On top of the droppers here, we're going to place some item frames on top of them with some tools inside of your choosing entirely, whatever you want to stick in there. It's up to you. Maybe go ahead and give them a bit of a rotate just to get them nice and centrally lined up like that. And the bonus to this is these are actual droppers, so you could probably place a button on the back of these, hook up some items inside, and it can actually be some sort of functional shop. Just kind of pop out the front here when you want to give it to the customer. So you can do that or just leave it as it is, purely decorative. But we do also want to go ahead and display some armor stands here. So we're just going to stick one in either corner there, and obviously go ahead and whack some armor on there. Iron, diamond, netherite, if you're really feeling like flexing, it's up to you, of course. On this side here where we have our ladder, just to the left of it, we're going to have two furnaces with a lantern on top. And we're also going to stick a lantern underneath this block here just to fully light up the inside here. What we can also do is place two shelves just to the right hand side of the doorway. So we're going to have two trapdoors on the top of this block and the top of this block right here. This top shelf can just have a chest or something like that. And then on this bottom level here, since this isn't technically a full block, it has to be an entity that goes on here. So we're just going to have another pickaxe inside of an item frame. In this corner, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a grindstone station. So just behind this iron bar window, we're going to have our grindstone with an iron trapdoor next to it in this corner with a lever on top of it, just as maybe something to sharpen the grindstone, use on the grindstone. I don't know, got to use your imagination a little bit. And then as a chair, we're just going to have a polished andesite stair. So you can sit here and grind away. Yes, it's a little bit close, but it looked better than that, right? So go ahead and have the stair there. Now we can come to the outside area here, and we're just going to have a slab in the middle here, so temporary block next to that wall with a slab in the center, and two upside down polished andesite stairs either side of it. And then we're going to have a heavy weighted pressure plate here, so made out of iron, with another lever here, just as some sort of tool, looking as though it's a workbench of some kind. The last thing we need to do for this outside area is stick an anvil right here, so one block away from that upside down stair, and then 2 blocks away from the anvil, we're going to have a cauldron filled with water, because something like that is always used in a blacksmith workshop. So the final thing we need to do before the build is done is make another bit of a workstation in the center of the room here. So the very first thing we're going to do is 2 blocks away from this ladder, we're going to break this block in the floor right here, and we're going to replace it with specifically 1, 2, 3, and 4 snow layers. And on top of those snow layers, we're going to place in an armor stand on a bit of an angle, just like that, with a helmet on top. Now, this is a fun way to make it look as though a helmet is being rested on top of a full block. So we've got our snow, we've got the armor stand, we've got the helmet. The next thing we need to do is just temporarily above this armor stand, break that trapdoor and replace it with a downwards facing piston. We also want to go ahead and break that slab as well, so we can place a button on it. But then we're going to have a crafting table underneath the piston, and we basically just want to push it into position. So stick another block there so it will push it down even more. Get rid of the piston, get rid of the temporary block, replace the slab and the trapdoor, and there we go. It looks as though the helmet is resting on top of the crafting table, which is just a really neat little trick. I love using it. Takes a little bit of effort, but I definitely say it's worth it. Just beside the crafting table here, we want to stick a smithing table just to make the table a little bit bigger, and then either side of it, we're going to have ourselves 2 spruce trapdoors. So there we go, everybody. That is how you build a smithy's workshop inside of Minecraft. I really hope you guys liked the build and that you enjoyed watching. Thank you ever so much for doing that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.